Hello there, everyone, and welcome to this first episode of Brain Theory here on this channel. You know who I am, E.T. Templar, alien crusader from beyond the heavens, here to entertain and destroy through the power of meme magic. And in this episode, it is about guns, and I'll be reading and chiming in with additional opinion. So here we go. Like it or not, a gun is a tool. It has a purpose like any other tool. It's a progressive technology, and it will continue to evolve and adapt. Guns have come a long way from the invention of black powder, the arquebus, blunderbuss, musket, cap and ball rifles, to bolt-action rifles, semi-automatics, belt-fed machine guns, and others. Like any other tool, sometimes it's misused or used by a madman. Tyrants like to use these instances of misuse as a reason to disarm all, and that magically, if they do ban or criminalize the ownership of guns, that somehow all gun violence and crime will magically disappear. Let's use the illegality of heavy drugs, for instance, have been banned for some time, yet it's still manufactured and dealt in our streets. Most anti-gun advocates are the elite oligarchy of society who live in opulence. Gated communities have private security, with guns, mind you, and get preferential treatment from law enforcement. Anti-gun tyrants are already in a private club of elitism, riches, a club that they decide who joins or is allowed to prosper, and they fear the poor and the middle class's right to be armed. These anti-gun zealots also want the right of self-defense to be their privilege club only. And the Facade and Their fear. Every anti-gun late-night show personality, politician, and spokesperson don't care about the loss of life, victims, or even you in the general sense. These individuals are terrified of a free, independent citizens and envious, even. Most of these anti-gun people are slaves to elitism, and your independence and freedom is something they hate. Isn't it curious how all these anti-gun agencies people have ties to the elite? In reality, they are the whores to the system that hates you. And they themselves cannot be bothered to get their own hands dirty. You will find that most politicians, late night show hosts, are too cowardly of human beings to actually defend themselves. So they rely on bodyguards and local police preferential treatment. And this also reminds me of a quote from pardon the keyboard ASMR, a quote from Jean-Luc Picard. And it's a very here it is. No being is so important that he can usurp the rights of another. And that's what we see with this. These political elitists and these anti-gun zealots, right? They think they're so fucking important. And they think they have this right or this ability to dictate what the average Joe, you and I, as to what we can and cannot own and what we can and cannot choose as our form of self-defense. And they have this twisted, antiquated opinion about this, that somehow just because the technology, the firearms technology during the forefathers was back then, they think that that only applies to owning firelocks, muskets, and black powder firearms. But isn't it interesting how that form of technological convenience doesn't apply to anything else, like the freedom of speech, right? So if we take that same stupid sense of reasoning, we could say that oh, the freedom of speech only is applicable to the pen and paper and presses. You see, the internet and blogs didn't exist before, way back then. So you could argue the same thing with blogs, the internet, and even videos, that those aren't freedom of speech because they didn't exist back then, and the founding fathers wouldn't allow that particular right to extend that far with freedom of speech. So basically, to sum up this video, it's that these people, these elitists, whether they're left, right, or just evil assholes that want to control everything, they want you to be disarmed. They don't want you to have the ability to defend yourself, because if you can't defend yourself, your rights, your home, and your very existence, then that means then they have that power to just steamroll over you. And this is more than just the issue of the right side, conservative and Republican way of things. This applies to all under the elitist and corporate partisan politics. This goes beyond basic partisan politics. This relates to, of course, not to sound like another person, but the right of the individual and the right of the person supersedes that of elitists and partisan politics. And for people to actively be against gun rights and gun ownership means you're against the gun rights and ownerships of minorities and vulnerable people around the United States. So people who want to take away guns, they just want to have people vulnerable so they can have more power, and that's what it's about. For these people, it's about power and control. It's not about saving lives. It's not about stopping mass shootings. It's about them acquiring more power over all of us. And that's why, even if you're not hardcore conservative or left, you should be pro-gun and pro-Second Amendment, because at the end of the day, it's for the right of the individual, the person, to defend themselves, their ideology, and their very own existence in this world. So if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like or a dislike, comment below, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you so want to, I have a Patreon. If you choose to support this channel, that'd be great, because existence here on YouTube is not going to profit me any money, because you need $100 threshold to even get any money, and by then they'll just delete your channel anyway. So Patreon is just a way to support this channel and me. If you're curious, and if you want to, you don't have to, but of course on Patreon there's also exclusive content. Most of it is free and available for you to check out and enjoy yourself. And there's also Odysee, which has exclusive videos and other content on Odysee. The link for that should be in the description or pinned in the comments down below, as well as a link to Bitchute, where there's more exclusive videos. And Odysee and Bitchute have more spicier opinions of mine that aren't allowed here on this bullshit politically correct platform. So again, thanks for stopping by, thanks for clicking in, and if you watch this far into the video, you're awesome. Thanks again. I owe you so much just for that alone, and again, thank you so much. See you next time. God bless. Stay safe, stay healthy, and just stay alert.